Welcome back to another one of our In the Loop series. I've got lots for you to look at today. Mostly we're the purveyors of Rolexes this time, so we'll dive straight into some of the watches that we've got. We have about 7 of the Rolexes in this sale, and that's probably far more than any jeweller you'll find out there, any of your local jewellers. The first one, or the main one of interest here, is lot 1008. And this is the reference 116610LN, and all of those numbers have a specific meaning to this actual watch. So the 1166 part of that means that it is a Submariner. The 1 then means that the bezel is rotatable, and then the 0 means that it is made of stainless steel. And then the LN, right at the end, means, in French, lunette noire, which means that the bezel is black. All right here, this is a 2020 model, so only 3 years old. As you can see by looking at it, it's hardly even been worn at all. And it is the most recent model of the Submariner that has been brought by Rolex. And this is the model with the black dial and the black bezel. And if I show you the 2 Submariners that we have in the sale side by side, you can see as a direct comparison exactly what the differences are. So this other one that we've got here is lot 1009, and this is the 16610, and this one is a 1999 model. And if we just compare them side by side here, instantly you can see the more modern model. It seems like a larger case. That is mainly due to the lugs right at the top here, which are thicker. You also have a much thicker crown guard on the side compared to the old model. The bezel insert on the newer model is made out of ceramic rather than aluminium. And that being ceramic means that it won't stain from UV rays from having worn it outside all the time. And it's generally just more resistant to scratches and abrasions than the aluminium bezel is. So as you can see here, on lot 1009, the bezel insert has slightly started to fade right at the top here. And now that can be a desirable thing as well. The entire thing can eventually go grey, and that's called ghosting. And that, when it's all around the bezel, that's quite a wanted feature. And again, it can happen for the dial itself as well. So then more comparisons. You can also see that the hour markers are slightly larger, the hands are wider. It's just generally a more rugged style of casing and presentation. And then the straps as well. You've got a lovely oyster lock clasp on the back of the newer model, and then you can see the original 1999 model having still a bifold clasp, but just of an older style. So both really popular watches to own. Lot 1008, the more modern watch, will be in with an estimate of 8,000 to 10,000, and then lot 1009, the older model, will be in with an estimate of that one is 6,000 to 8,000. So those are the 2 Submariners in the sale. We've got a lot of other Rolexes, as I said, including a lovely, this lot 1038. This is a reference 116200. And again, all of those reference numbers mean specific things, mainly to mean that it's a Datejust, it has a polished bezel, and that it's a stainless steel case. And this one is circa 2013. Again, it looks like it's hardly been worn. Nice white dial as well. This is a newer model of the Datejust with a lovely bifold clasp with a brushed and polished stainless steel case. Really good condition, this one, and that should be estimate is between 5,500 and 7,500. And then moving on to some of the other watches sale. Lot 1007 is an Omega Seamaster Professional. This is a coaxial model, and this was sold in 2017. And again, hardly seen the light of day. It's got a full box and papers with it, the whole full set. It's a nice chunky model as well, with an orange bezel. great for diving and the sea, and the estimate on this is between 2,000 and 3,000. We've got the first lot in the sale here, which is lot 1,000. This is a Cartier Santos Galbee, which is a reference 1564. This is in a stainless steel case, very classic style, and this is actually a mid-size wristwatch, so it could be unisex, and it is in working order as well. No box or papers with this one, but the estimate is 8 to 1,200, so well worth the money on this one here. That's the first lot in the sale. Another Cartier as well here, lot 1001, the one directly after. This is 18 karat gold and stainless steel. This is called a Tank Solo, and the reference is 2742. It's got a cabochon crown on the side, and again it's just classic Cartier wristwatch. A nice flat dial on this one, and estimate on this is 1,500 to 2,500. Looking over to some of the jewellery, and the first one I want to look at, being currently February, is the birthstone of February, which is amethyst. This lot, 1202, is quite a modern ring, and it is an amethyst, but you might be able to see a slight hint of yellow in with that amethyst as well, and which makes this stone called an Ametrine. And that can be a naturally occurring phenomena as well, where the gradient goes from purple to yellow, or it can be artificially induced as well. So this one being a modern one, it's 99% likely to have been artificially induced, and that is by heating. So citrine is regularly called burnt amethyst, and for obvious reasons, that's because you heat treat the amethyst. It's to about 500 degrees centigrade, and it will turn your amethyst into a citrine. And then you can also re-alter that back to an amethyst, and that's by irradiation. So you have to bombard that citrine with all sorts of radiation, and it'll turn back into a purple. But that's our nice birthstone ring for today. Lot 1123. This is a great one to look at under a loupe, or through even higher magnification. This is an aquamarine and diamond pendant. It's all crafted in 18 karat white gold. Again, very modern, but it's a nice large aquamarine. And as we can see here under some higher magnification, you can see some rain inclusions. And these are hollow needles or tube inclusions, and generally they are parallel to how the crystal forms. So you can see in here, in this aquamarine, that they are actually perpendicular to the table facet, which is this large facet right at the top here. And they're all going in exactly the same direction. And these are generally called two-phase inclusions, which means that they are both liquid and gas filled. And again, this is actually an inclusion that can make an aquamarine more valuable than if it were to be completely absent. So a nice one to look at there under close magnification. The next one here, lot 1263. Now this is a slight red herring. So these are opals, but they are synthetic opals, and they're more regularly named Gilson synthetic opals, after the person who came up with the synthesis method. And as you can see, first by the pendant here, it's a really regular type of colour banding that you can see through. All of these different patches of colour are extremely regular. In normal opal, they would be blending into one another, and you wouldn't see such fine, sharp edges as you do in this one here. And then another way to see that sort of lizard skin effect as well is also by these earrings. And if we turn them to the side here, you can see that the colours, rather than from the top being patches of colour, you can see that they're more like columns of colour along the side. And that is because when the opal is synthesized, it's all the way at the bottom of a test tube, and it grows upwards. So all those colour bands and columns also grow directly upwards. And that's not something you see in natural opal. Much more of a flow of colour. But they're still attractive pieces of jewellery as synthetic opals. So the pendant itself would probably be between 150 and 250, and the earrings are probably going to be something more around £100 or so for the synthetic models. And then just two lovely necklaces to show you here. We'll start on lot 1112, which is an arts and crafts pendant necklace. This is all crafted in 9-carat rose gold with turquoise matrix right in the centre of each panel. And this is by a very well-known jeweller of the arts and crafts movement, and they are called Gourdel, Vales and Co. Extremely highly regarded jewellers, and they generally make things in silver and enamel instead of gold. So this is a very rare piece. I'm not quite sure if the pendant, they're both by the same maker, but I'm not quite sure if the lower pendant here originally came as a separate pendant to the fringe necklace, or if it was indeed original to this necklace as well. But they definitely go well together. And then finishing on one of my favourite pieces in the entire sale is lot 1100. This is a Victorian sapphire and diamond drop pendant necklace. So this is a bar pendant, named for obvious reasons. This is actually a later chain which has been added. It may well have been a brooch at the beginning of its life, and then later having the loops and the chain added to make it a bit more modern and a bit more wearable. But a beautiful cornflower blue colour sapphire at the bottom as well, with old cut diamonds all the way along the top as well. Just such a beautiful piece of jewellery, and all of the diamonds sparkle in the light. And the estimate on this is between 1,000 and 1,500. But just a really unusual piece of jewellery, that one. So that's about it for what I have to show you. And there's also plenty more that you can look through on the catalogue, which is online now, and it will be up for sale on the 3rd of March. Everything you've seen here will be on the 3rd of March. And that starts at 10 a.m. in the morning. If you do have any questions about anything, then please do get in contact or leave a comment, and we'll hope to get back to you soon. But thank you very much, and have a look through the catalogue.